Welcome back, everyone. This is Akanar here with more Talos Principle 2, where last time we completed the third area, the Eastern Wetlands. Well, we almost completed it. We'll get to that in just a moment. We were introduced, though, to our new inverter equipment. We learned a little bit more about the mysterious Miranda, a little bit more of her background. We learned some interesting new stuff about New Alexandria and what happened there. But most importantly, we lit the third beam, and we have now opened the Megastructure. A doorway into the Megastructure has opened up, and I am so curious to see what is going on with that. What is inside? Is it going to be similar in any way to the tower in the first game? Or will it be something completely different? No idea really what to expect, and we'll be checking that out soon enough. But first, we have a little bit of unfinished business here in the wetlands, because we were searching for the Sphinx Star. We were on a scavenger hunt, trying to track down this location that the engraving was pointing us toward, and I was not finding it. I was just completely going in every direction, trying to find where this thing was. I thought it was on a rock formation. I thought it was pointing to one of these rock formations that was around here. I thought maybe that it was pointing to like this open grasslands area. Maybe there was something supposed to be here. And I even went after recording. I went and played a little bit off camera because it was bugging me so much that I could not find this star. I wanted to find it. And it turns out that the whole time, it was right here. It was right dang here, hiding behind a bush. It's honestly not even really hiding behind a bush, but but I said it to myself in the first episode. I said, you have to look behind bushes because that's where they often hide switches. I swear, even when I went off camera to look, I was starting to overcomplicate things. I was starting to think, you know, oh, there's an X on the engraving, the Sphinx engraving, and also there's these engravings that are in these puzzles. And I went and I looked at puzzle 2, and I saw there was X engravings in puzzle 2. And then I looked at puzzle 7, I saw there was X engravings there as well. And I was thinking, how are those connected? I was really getting into serious overcomplication mode. But finally, I realized, I backed off my overcomplication and realized my mistake of just overlooking the thing that was right there all along. I swear, this is something that I think I can think back to when I was a kid. Some of the moments when I was, you know, I would lose a toy and go to my mom. Mom, I lost a toy. I don't know where it is. Did you look in your room? Yeah, I looked in my room. I can't find it. Go look again. Comes back later. Still can't find it. Mom goes in and checks, and within 5 seconds, she's found it. So I just have this, ability to tunnel vision and completely overlook the thing that is just sitting right there in front of me. But the key thing is that we get there eventually. And if you're here for this playthrough, it's just going to be part of the ride. So enjoy it. It's just how I do things.
The wheel turns, but without the road, it cannot move.
That is not wrong. Not wrong. You do, in fact, need a source of friction in order for the wheel to actually propel its vehicle. So that maybe is the most clear thing, the most sensible thing that the Sphinx has said this whole time. Either way, we are moving along to the Megastructure. We're going to head back up here and find out. It is time to find out what is inside, or at least part of what's inside. That thing is huge. I don't see how we're going to be able to explore that entire thing right now, right this moment. There's got to be different parts of the Megastructure to explore, but I mean, honestly, I'm just speculating. I'm just guessing, and we really just need to find out. So let's head back to the base camp here. Now, travel to the Megastructure. There it is. Okay, I don't know. Sometimes this thing highlights. I wasn't able to click on that at first. But, okay, travel to the Megastructure. Let's go. Let's see. I like how the beam is pointing the way.
By the way, I finished my analysis of the particle clouds. At first, I thought they might be some kind of nanotechnology, but I was wrong. It's a lot worse than that. What we're looking at is a completely unknown type and state of matter. Completely inexplicable within our understanding of physics. Created and manipulated by someone.
Fascinating. Come on, people, get on board. We haven't got all day.
All right, we have the megastructure lit up. We have some interesting information from Melville regarding the particle clouds, and I think we have a research thing to check out in a minute. We've got the beams that are lighting the way. We've got also the time that has progressed. We've got the sun that is setting. That's pretty cool as well. But let's keep going with the mission here, and keep the. We don't want to keep our friends waiting.
Yakut?
Aye, aye, sir.
Uh,
I do want to take a moment to digest some of what Melville said, but we'll keep things rolling here.
I guess not. He postulated the concept of the outside context problem. That's when a society encounters something so advanced, so different, that they simply could not have conceived of it. That's what this is.
Kind of feels like it.
This whole place is one giant outside context problem, and we're headed right into it.
Here we go. Here we go. It's a little dark. Enter the megastructure. Achievement unlocked.
Down over there. Should I?
Please do. I can't wait to get a closer look.
We do have some internal lighting here. They're at least not keeping us completely in the dark. Whoever it is that has built this place. It kind of feels, it feels a little bit like we're going
We need to
into.
explore as much as we can, separately if need be, but stay in touch. Record anything interesting you find, and pay special attention to any clues as to
Who built this place and why? Ah, the unfortunate audio cutting out as usual.
The schematics we found in that lab were extremely incomplete.
I think someone should stay at the VTOL just in case.
I volunteer you. See you later, Al.
So our main objective is to explore the area, and we'll definitely do our best to do that. This place is absolutely massive, though, as you could tell from the outside, but then getting to step inside and take a look is really cool. There were some interesting bits that Melville said about the particle cloud. She said kind of what we had speculated or thought, that it was just something that was completely outside of our understanding of physics, and probably built by somebody completely different than us, or at least manipulated by someone completely different from us. And I've got to think of that whoever is manipulating that is responsible, at least in some way, for the presence of this megastructure. Some interesting statues on the wall here that kind of look like us, don't they? They've got the cores here that are reminiscent of what we have, maybe? Question mark? What are we going to find in here? There's a tension in the air. There's a an apprehension that I have about what we're going to find. There is this symbol as well, which I do remember from one of the puzzles that we solved. We have foliage. Whoa, that's a bit unexpected. There is some sunlight coming in here, I guess. Okay, and so there is some foliage that is able to prosper inside this massive pyramid. And what do we have here? Another one of these. It looks similar to the statue that we saw in the wetlands. And this time, there are a cube and a sphere that are just levitating? How does that work? We also had the bit of research here, I think, that popped up. Let's check that out. Melville preliminary analysis results regarding the particle clouds. Imagine an ant trying to make sense of a nuclear power plant, an armadillo trying to explain disco music. You get my drift. These particle clouds contradict every known law of physics. What's really shocking here isn't that we're seeing a new and powerful technology, it's what this implies about our grasp of physics. A lot of what we thought we knew must be wrong or incomplete on some fundamental level, a humbling realization. I don't like it. I don't think I would like it very much either. I can only imagine. Well, I sort of know a little bit of that feeling of when you don't quite understand a subject, when you don't quite really grasp it, and the frustration that goes along with that. So if something like this were to be introduced into your sense of what you thought was reality, we've got the Sphinx depicted here again. Let's check out this terminal real quick. Chernyshevsky. That's one of the names from New Jerusalem, I think, right? From Arkady Chernyshevsky's In Our Likeness, Essays on Humankind Reaching Adulthood. What I propose then is that we are not born as entirely free agents, responsible only for ourselves. The very core of what we are, our sentience, separates us from and elevates us above the animal kingdom. As I have argued, this is not a matter of arrogance, but of responsibility. However, this blessing also demands something else from us, something more personal than responsibility, and that is loyalty. Our ancestors, less atomized than we are, experienced a crude version of this loyalty, swearing allegiance to tribes, races, nations, and other such semi-fictional concepts. This fragmented understanding was easily exploited and led to many conflicts. We can condemn them for that, or we can choose to believe these were necessary historical steps towards our growth. But above all, we must stop indulging in such childlike behavior. Our species can no longer afford to believe in Mother Russia or Uncle Sam. Neither, however, can we afford to indulge in the adolescent rebel's misanthropy, rejecting the many gifts we have been lucky enough to receive, not from above, but from the history of our species. To put it simply, each of us owes a burden of loyalty to humanity itself, to the human project across time and space. This is not a minor matter or some abstract issue for philosophers. It is a profound and significant part of every human life. It is a universal source of meaning and insight that can bind us together and set us on a path for a brighter future. And it is also a division, a line that must be held against those who preach the gospel of self-annihilation. We ignore it at our peril. Failed to load profile. Chernyshevsky, like Drenin, stood by this belief to the bitter end. Without him, the archive would not exist, as we owe humanity our loyalty. So we owe a more personal debt to those individuals who gave everything for our story to continue. One interesting thing to note here is this is Terminal Noema 2. Are we inside of the Noema project? Is that what this megastructure is? See if there's anything on the other side, but I think this is our main way forward. Oh, there is something else over here, but it looks like Melville is currently working with this. You are engaged fully in thought, fully in reading and deciphering whatever is at this terminal. So I guess we can't access this, or at least at the moment we can't. So nowhere else to go but forward, I guess, with Yakut into some sort of elevator.
This thing seems to be broken.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Oh, I can't actually go in because there is a barrier here. There is it's some sort of container. I thought it looked like an elevator, but it's not open. So we can't go in there. And so where else do we go? I'm actually not sure now. Unless there was a path here to the side that I missed. Okay, so this was this big area that had an additional... So maybe there was something over here that I missed as well. I thought these things sort of... Oh, there's a door here. I literally thought that these two... I thought that this connected to this. So there is a doorway in that direction. Let's go over here. Is this a dead end? Byron's over here looking at something. Okay, that was a little...
Isn't this an incredible space? Look at it all. It's beautiful.
I was going to look around, but the game sort of warped me into talking to you. I'm not sure I see it, but I didn't get a chance to look around yet, so it's hard to say. I'll just agree for now.
That's good. That's excellent.
Oh, okay. Have you been hanging out with Purple all of a sudden?
These days can't see the beauty in things created by human hand. They can look at an ant colony or a coral reef and be impressed, but if it was made by humans, they just don't see it. It's good to be humble as an individual, but we have to be careful not to lose track of our accomplishments as a species. If we're impressed by the complex patterns produced by animals, then this should be breathtaking.
I do tend to agree with that. I'm not, I think there is some truth in that. What exactly is this? It looks a little bit like a receptor, but also it's like a slow-moving drill of some kind. It's so green. I don't think we can do anything with it at the moment, other than we could maybe jump off to our death. Got to do some silly science. That is part of the process here. A little silly science. Never hurt anybody? Question mark? Puts us back at the palm reader. All right, let's go in this direction and see what is through the next door.
Hold on a second, 1K. I think I can find an override for that door.
Thank
Maybe
you.
after that, you can help me with this elevator?
One problem at a time.
Melville's on
What's
it.
going on with these fast structures? Okay, doors should be opening. Now,
There we go.
about the elevator.
Actually, the elevator's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No idea where I am, but it's working.
Uh-oh.
Don't go too far. Try to circle back.
On it.
Yakut's getting into some trouble. Yakut, we're gonna have to be going on a rescue mission for him. I already know it. Get ready to solve some puzzles, Yakut. You might actually have to solve some puzzles for once. Open it up into another big open area here. Good lord. Incredible. I love the atmosphere. The lighting and the, just this feeling of going into almost alien territory. I wonder if Jacques might be right. We might be dealing with aliens. Yakut beat us down here. There you
talk
go.
For a second? That whole thing with the elevator just gave me the creeps.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk for a sec. Sure. What's up?
When we first arrived here, I was really excited. It's such a huge place. The technology is so advanced. If we figure out what it all means, we could really change the future of New Jerusalem. The mayor says we have to avoid repeating the mistakes our ancestors made, to stay humble, to not reach too far. And that sounds very abstract, but I've seen the ancient cities. I've seen how much they built, how much they grew, how far they fell. So I've been thinking, what if all this sets us on the same path? What if this is too much power for anyone to control?
This is a really tough set of choices. I have to say, this might be the most interesting dialogue choice yet, because almost all of these answers I'm actually kind of seeing a case for. There's so many times where it feels like none of the answers are close to what I really want to say, but there's like a nugget of truth in each one of these, it feels like, and I keep getting pulled from one answer to the other. Also, it's probably just the lighting in here, but it really makes the, I guess the faces being darker does really make them look like a lot scarier for some reason. The eyes just standing out a lot more. It's a little freaky. This is a really tough choice. I could go with almost any of these, but I think I'm gonna pick the first one here. You're right, this place could be dangerous, but we need to understand it. If we can, let's try to gain as much understanding as possible.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who's a little worried, but we should keep exploring. Like you said, we need to understand what we're dealing with. Maybe it won't be all that bad. Thanks for talking to me, 1K. I know we're in the middle of something, but I kind of needed that.
Just need a little pep talk. But I totally understand, like I was already saying, the feeling that you get, the vibe as you're walking through here, it just feels very foreign and foreboding. You're not sure what's coming. Whoa. Okay, this looks like what we saw in the lab. This, Yakut's really jamming there. This looks like what we saw with that magnetism or anti-gravity, whatever was going on in the lab. I thought for a second it might have been sort of liquid in some way, but it does appear to be solid. What is going on here? Ooh, there's a bridge ring. There is a bridge or a tetromino bridge ring. Let's see if we can catch up with
Looks like another
Yakut.
set of puzzles. Same pattern, 1 gate, 3 receivers. Like some sort of fractal symmetry.
There you go. There actually are so many bridge rings here. This is like Tetromino Bridge Central. My goodness. Okay, wow, there is a lot to digest here. Is that there's a laser up there? Okay, I can already see the laser gun. Is there another one around here? The laser guns are just in this megastructure this time. Or at least one of them is. I don't know, I haven't seen the other ones yet, but yeah, there are, I guess, a bunch of puzzles spread out. Can we actually access this? We can. Are these the pieces that we already picked up from our previous travels? Okay. I like the magenta pulsing effect there. And now we have a new objective. Activate another 3 beams. RGB. There's also an inscription or an engraving over there. There's a figure depicted. I'd like to get a closer look at that. Can we keep going? We can keep going. All right, let's just go as far as this will let us go. So far, these bridges are just falling into place. They don't seem very, like, you have to maybe fool around a little bit with what piece you put where, but it doesn't seem too particular just yet. And it lets us go all the way here. Is there any reason not to do that? Like, would it be better for us to use our pieces over here? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's build this way first, because I want to take a closer look at this engraving. And I'm just going to use the default pieces here until I have a good reason to do otherwise, because these seem very straightforward. Okay, what do we have? Is this supposed to be the founder? We have another depiction here of the owl. Does this react in any way to my getting close to it? Doesn't seem so. This feels very much like the way you would see, you know, Jesus depicted, right? With the halo effect around both the head as well as the hands, right? Almost like as if there were stigmata or something that were being emphasized. It has that very religious feel to it, like we're depicting a deity here, which makes me think it would be the founder. But I assume one way or another, lighting these 3 receivers is going to open this door. And that seems to be our next main objective, which is really interesting because what about all the other areas, right? We've got all the northwest and south on our map, but we also have the megastructure puzzles. So this is a very interesting kind of progression, maybe similar to the tower. The tower was one of those things in the first game where you could save it all the way until the end, but you could also kind of work on it at the start. You could work on it as you were going along. So in this case, though, they are kind of forcing you to go and work on it right after the first 3 areas. So it looks like we have a choice. We have a choice to go either to the blue section or to the green section. And actually, there is a 3rd set of bridge rings here, but they also go to the green section. What is the difference there? Is that another laser gun? I think that might be another laser up here. I'm in my initial mode of trying to digest what is going on in the environment and making a mental map of things. They've done a nice job of helping you build that mental map by there's a green set of lights here as opposed to the blue set of lights here. So immediately in your mind, you're sort of like, oh, that's the blue section over there. That's the red section up there. Maybe orange or whatever. Okay, I'm gonna stop having indecision over where to start. It looks to me like blue has a ramp that leads up to red. So let's start this direction because it kind of opens up the most options to us, I guess. Or it seems like it does.
Of the system. I think I've tracked down some more schematics, though. Let's see. This might do something. Or not.
Melville is tracking down some more schematics. So that ultimately is probably what's going to open up the remaining outdoor areas on the island. But let's start with the puzzle that's in front of us. Let's actually do... well, that is not actually a puzzle in front of us, or at least it didn't have a name. I was expecting there to be a name that would pop up on screen, but we don't have that. So is this actually a puzzle that we can interact with? There is a green receptor here and a force field, a red receptor and a force field, and another, what looks like a bridge ring. Can I go through this? I can. It connects over to another part of this structure. This is a bit unexpected, but it looks like there is a different sort of puzzle progression here. We have to get over into this area in order to actually even do anything, right? Because there's no equipment in this first little part of the puzzle. We have to navigate our way over there, and there are I can see a connector and an RGB converter. Okay, that's kind of cool. A new way of navigating. Let's pick actually this piece. No, let's pick this piece. And then this piece. That's not good enough. So let's back that up. Go all the way back here to the start. And let's start with... maybe that one makes the most sense to start with, or this one. I think I like starting with this one, though. Let's see what this does. And then from there... this is still very much, to me, seems to me to be a lot about just fooling around until you find something that works. And there you go. I'm just sort of intuiting these. There's no real, like, solid logic as to, oh, I know exactly what piece needs to go here because of the way that this is. There's just some spatial intuition that's going on. And so far, it's working out. So that gets us access to one piece of equipment, I think. I don't remember what it was that was behind the force field, but let's get that out so in the open. It's really cool that, or interesting at least, that these puzzles, this puzzle did not have a name to it like we've seen in most Talos Principle puzzles. But was that how it was in the tower? That might be how it was in the tower in the first game. I actually don't remember now whether there were... oh, I can't take this through. I can't take this through. I don't remember whether there were named puzzles in the tower. That might be an interesting detail to go back and look at. What do we want to do here? We've got an RGB converter. That's what I need to do. I see it now. I needed to connect this connector to the blue. I wasn't thinking ahead there. Let's connect that to the blue source so that we have... oh, okay, we actually need to do... I see. Okay, I really was not thinking holistically on this puzzle. I often do that where I'm just thinking one step ahead, trying to keep the puzzle, trying to keep myself from being overcomplicated. But sometimes you do, oftentimes you need to make sure to keep everything in the bird's eye view. Because we need to light that, we need to have that open so that we have access to the blue source. And then what I need to have here is, I want to have green as the ultimate destination, and I want to be taking input as, I want to take red as an input, but I also want to take input from this connector, which is going to be hooked up to blue. So hopefully I can find a position here to where I'm not blocking any of my beams, and we can get green powered up. So let's keep this connection and just add blue. And can I angle it like so? That works. Okay. On to the next stage here. Moving up to the next floor, maybe? I'm really liking this layout. This is a very interesting way to do this, and it is starting to remind me of the tower. In terms of it having a very different feel. You're still doing Talos Principle puzzles, but it has a very different feel from the rest of the areas. I'm curious to check down here. Is there something hidden out here? Probably not. And now I might be trapped. I might not be able to get back up. Anything down here? Oh, there is a cubby hole here, but I can't see anything. It doesn't feel like I should be down here. But the game is letting me, kind of. I think eventually we're going to run into a spot where I have to fall to my death because I'm not sure I can get back up. Yeah, I think I've actually trapped myself. I don't think I can make my way back up to where I need to go. So, silly science time once again. Oh boy. Oh man, I really screwed myself, didn't I? Because getting the silly science to death resets your progress. Okay, one moment while I redo this part of the puzzle because I'm over here being a dingus, jumping off the parts of the area where I'm not supposed to be. Now, does this actually work if I... It does. Okay, so I can actually... I don't have to hook up... I don't have to be at the converter to hook it up to a second source. You can plug that second source into the RGB converter after you have hooked up source number 1 and the output. That's cool to know. So, okay, now that we have... Let's keep moving on. We'll stay on the track this time and actually go where we're supposed to. Maybe. I still have to look around though, because there's cool big laser guns to take a look at. And where's... I have to try and find the button that fires the laser gun. No, it's not a button. It's puzzles. So stay on course and just do the puzzles. I can't help myself though. This place is cool to explore. Is this the way forward? There is a cable here that goes to a humongous lever. Okay. Wow. This is like the least alien looking thing that we found in this whole place. This looks like something you'd find on like an old like railroad car or something. All right, let's pull the lever. What could go wrong? That's it. There was actually literally a button, not literally a button, but a lever, which is essentially the same thing as a button in this case because we fired the beam. Okay, that was not too hard. So we're not going to have to go through a lot of work necessarily to fire these off. We just need to not go jumping off of cliffs. That's all. Laser number 2. How do we fire you?
This is madness. Even the walls are bursting with power.
The walls? What are you talking about, Millville? Do you need some help? Breathe. I know we don't have lungs, but take a deep breath. These tetrominoes, or Tetris pieces, I'm guessing we must have... these are the same ones that we've been collecting so far from the first 3 areas. They've sort of carried over into this structure. All right, what are we doing here? We have a force field that's being powered open with the red, and then there's our lever for the beam. We can go over here to an inverter. Ultimately, what are we trying to do? We're trying to shoot blue at this force field to get access to the lever. Now, there is a blue source right here, but... Oh, this is actually an inverter, isn't it? I'm just now seeing. This is actually an inverter. And it is being powered by... I see. The blue source is connecting to this inverter, which is outputting red to open this force field. So this has already been set up to sustain this circuit. If I move this, if I break these connections, then that is not easily reestablished. Now this is also outputting red to this spot, but this connector over here is outputting blue. Presumably from this source. Okay, so this blue source is also connecting over to this connector. So what do we want? If we want to get blue, presumably this inverter has to be involved somehow. Now, there was this other tetromino bridge out here, and we saw before that with the first puzzle, we had to connect to a different part of the puzzle in order to fully complete it. So let's see if that is the case here. Let's use this piece. Oh, I'm building over to where? Am I building to here? I'm probably building to here, aren't I? So that means I need to rotate and then... No, I'm not building to here. There's no opening here. Where are we building to? Over here. Oh, so this is maybe building over to the green area. So I don't actually think we need to do this Tetris bridge. I could be wrong about that. We don't need to do it in order to complete this beam. This looks like this is all there is to the puzzle. So I think we've got 2 inverters and a connector, and we just need to figure out how to sort of get them to juggle what they are doing at the moment so that this inverter is supposed to maybe bring blue here. Is that what we want to do? How would we do that? that if we want this inverter to output blue, we need it to have red as an input. And right now, the only red that we can get is from this inverter. That's probably... This blue is actually... They've elevated this inverter, so there is probably room under this blue beam to shoot red. It might just be as simple as taking this... Disconnecting this connector. Disconnecting this connector, it sounds funny. Taking the connector so that it loses its connection to the blue output, and instead just take the red as an output. And just put that here. And then bring this inverter. I feel like this is actually a very simple one. Just took me a minute to think about what all is involved, but that should work. Okay, pretty easy. Once you don't overcomplicate things. Beam number 2. Let's go.
Well done.
It was not that bad, Alcatraz, but I will always take the kind words. I appreciate the encouragement. Now let's move on to the green area. Oh, I need to actually place that. I thought I was going to walk off to my death for a second there because I forgot to place... that before
far down this goes.
moving on. Far down? It doesn't feel like we're really moving down, are we? Is that where the elevator took you? Or you're just looking down? First rule of exploring a big cavern like this is don't look down, Yakut. Don't do it. Puzzle number 3. Let's check it out. We have a driller this time. And a driller wall. Red source. Some mysterious symbology again here that I get distracted by sometimes. The driller, though, creates a hole and allows us to get a connector. And it allows us to connect red as so. We can open up that force field on the other side. Now, do we have a way around there? How do we get to that other side? Because right now... Oh, I see what we're supposed to do. We actually need to do this. We need to bring in this red receptor and put the connector back here. That's what we're doing. Place it on the other side of the driller wall so that we can take a step forward. Got it. And then that's it. Easy. They were actually very straightforward puzzles. They're just kind of laid out in a very cool environment.
The gate's open. 1K if you want to.
The gate is open.
I'll finish up scanning this.
Oh, you know I want to. You know I definitely want to. The beams are lit. God, these are massive laser guns, though. Everything about this. It is a megastructure, but everything about it is big. They definitely knew how to put the mega in the megastructure. But who is they? We need some answers. Will we find them through this door? There are still actually 2 Tetramino bridges to complete. I don't know if completing all the bridges does something. But the completionist in me wants to find out. So even if it's not required, I'm probably still going to do it here just for the heck of it. If it will let me. I do have enough pieces. These feel so straightforward, though. Like, they're just basically just put down the piece and go. Okay. The door's open, though. We've completed our 3 beams. What are we going to find? What is going to happen? Reveal the answers of the universe to me. I demand it. I'm anxiously awaiting something to happen as I go around each corner. There is a palm reader out there, and we have another large room. And this place is just massive. The palm reader is actually our main objective. So Let me just explore around a little bit more before I do that. Like, it really has this, there's almost a Stargate kind of feel to it in terms of, you know, you're in a pyramid. You're in a pyramid, but it's not really like, you know, it's not something that's ancient. Well, maybe it's ancient, but the technology and the construction involved is really, it really feels of alien nature. Okay, palm reader time. Noema 3 terminal. Question. I have a question. Author Miranda. I was doing some reading while the last trial was running, and I came across something I don't understand. There are a lot of references to ancient humans, feeling that science is boring. To me, everything we're studying is mind-bendingly incredible, whether it's quark gluon deconfinement, or neutrino anti-neutrino oscillations, or even something incredibly basic like the properties of light. I understand why our ancestors cared about art, why a beautifully crafted story or poem was moving to them, but how could they not see that everything that surrounds us is just as incredible? Studying science is like studying the most incredible machine ever created, a machine designed to build worlds and tell stories. How could they not see that? I'm not sure there's a good explanation, but I don't get it. Miranda. Well, I think the answer is that if you're thinking of the universe as a machine, it is something that is on such a grander scale and an infinitely larger scale that you're used to thinking about. A machine in the minds of most people, I think, including me, is something that is something built by human hands, something that you can see its design from start to finish. You can understand, even if you don't fully know all the ins and outs of how a car works, you get the basic concept, you get the basic idea of how it was put together by humans. You try to expand it to thinking about the universe, even just the solar system, the movement of the planets in your tiny little solar system, let alone the entire universe or galaxy. It's just so much larger. It's outside of your ability to comprehend it. But maybe Miranda, maybe the robots are on a different sort of ability to reason. Except not really, because there's so many of the robots in New Jerusalem that are into art, that like cats, or that have these much more human sorts of ways of looking at the universe and thinking about things. All right, Noema 1C15, this is another schematic that's going to hopefully not overload our system too badly. Oh, nope. Here we go. Here we go. Where is this?
Mother, what are you thinking about, Mother?
The Talos Principle. You
Mother.
see, it has two applications.
I knew
One
it.
is to the self. It means facing the truth even if it frightens us. Understanding that living beings are machines and we can't afford to lie to ourselves. But that's just the beginning. The second application is to the world. This one seems easier at first. It's less difficult to understand that the universe is a machine governed by laws.
So we and the universe are the same.
No, and that's the crucial part. We are conscious. Consciousness is rare, unlikely, but it's also the foundation of everything else. Without us, there can be no meaning. Without someone to perceive it, the beauty of the universe is pointless. But that shouldn't make us arrogant. No, in fact, it means we carry a tremendous responsibility. We are the light of the cosmos. And if we go out, there will be nothing but a cold, dark machine.
Act 2, the human form divine. Whoa. Athena is Miranda's
Athena?
mother.
The founder was here?
She could still be here. What if this is why she left, to build all this? We have to look for her.
I'm reading some pretty big energy spikes. I think we better scramble.
But she could be right here, right behind the next door. I could turn around a corner and walk right into her.
If she's really here, she'll still be here when we come back.
Alcatraz.
Right now, safety needs to come first. Let's go, Byron.
You're... Oh. Damn you, but you're right. Heading back.
Wow. Okay. What I was speculating about from sort of the beginning, this mysterious disappearance of the founder. Oh God. The founder. We found her. Okay. Sorry. I had to do it. We haven't really found her though, but Athena is at the heart of this. And now there are more questions. How exactly, or when exactly, did she give birth to Miranda? We've seen before there is the concept of two brothers, Eustathius and Cornelius, but have we had any, so far, I don't think we've had any, you know, idea of parents and children.
Was that really the founder?
I think so.
It was her. For years, I've wondered what happened to her, why she left, where she went, why she didn't tell me.
If the answers are here, I promise you we'll find them. We just have to be careful. Follow protocol.
Okay, looks like our main objective there is ahead. I'm not totally sure if I'm... Okay, it updated to the VTOL. But yeah, what I was saying about the fact that, you know, 1K, we are 1K. We were born, but we don't really have a mother or a father. That doesn't seem to have been a concept yet that anybody we've met in New Jerusalem has. So what exactly was the difference in the process that came about or resulted in Miranda's creation?
I still can't believe the founder built this place. Has she been here the whole time?
We don't know that she actually built it. All we know for sure is that she was here at some point.
Of course she built this. Who else would have the kind of vision necessary to accomplish something like this? The question is why? And why like this? Why recreate all these aspects of the simulation? What is she trying to tell us?
It does seem like it might be a test. I can't imagine any other explanation. But why is it so broken? Or does it just appear to be broken so that we have to learn how to fix it? I hate this.
Well, I know one thing for sure. Everyone in New Jerusalem is gonna go absolutely nuts.
Byron says, of course she built this, but that may not be completely true. There may be some help that she had. There may be some other entity at work here. I'm not necessarily ready to jump to that conclusion just yet. It is fascinating that the data stream now, the second data stream that we've had with Miranda in it, and now we've had Athena as well, it shows what looks like the simulation. It feels like it's kind of tapping into this this sleep mode that is inside of us. We saw the sleep mode on the first ride out here on the VTOL, and it feels like it's kind of, you know, that part of us that we can't quite get rid of, that part of, you know, Elohim that's baked into the cake. All of that is what is being tapped into there. I don't know if that's being done on purpose or if that's just the way things happen when we have somebody hack into us with a data stream. Once again, though, Athena was really driving at this idea that the universe is a machine. We've had this in several different writings and as well as audio logs, and it feels like this is maybe the conclusion that Athena has reached, that the universe in general is sort of like man, or sort of like humans, in that it's a machine that it's governed by certain laws and it works toward a certain purpose, but it is also distinct in that humans have consciousness, and that is like the spark, the light, that without it, nothing else would have meaning. There's a lot to think about there. Really, really interesting dialogue between her and Miranda. So exciting. So exciting. Also to have one of your theories confirmed a little bit.
Take us back to base camp, Yakut.
Yes, sir.
It felt obvious, though, that the founder was going to be involved in some way.
I'm getting some new readings. Looks like 2 of the northern sites are lighting up.
I think that may have been me. I suspect the puzzles are somehow tied to the transport system, like we're supposed to solve them in a particular order.
So cool. And there we have our first venture into the Megastructure. I'm sure will not be our last, because if I'm understanding the overall progression of the game now, it feels like this is part 1 of 4. We transitioned now to Act 2. And
All right, everyone. Our main objective is getting back into the megastructure.
Right.
1K, I want you on puzzles. You seem to have a knack for them. The rest of us can't neglect our secondary objectives of studying this island and understanding this technology.
but now it makes the structure of the game is kind of coming into view. There is, I thought that was a bug. That was a drone being let loose by Yakut. That's the first time we've seen the drone. I seriously thought for a second that there was a giant insect that was coming our way, and I freaked the fuck out. All right, I think that is where we are going to wrap up this installment of Talos Principle 2 as we complete Act 1, and we look forward to the next stage of puzzles over on the north side of the island. We now have, I think, a pretty clear picture of how the game is going to progress. Each area, the north area, south, and west are going to have their own 3 areas that are going to have 3 beams that also light up the megastructure and provide a way in. And then perhaps another data stream or more exposition from the founder. There's so much still to understand, so many mysteries and questions to get answers to. I'm still wrapping my head around this idea that the game seems to really want to, the main central theme of the game seems to be the universe is a machine similar to man, and it has some level of rhyme or reason. And that's one that just is not very intuitive to me. As I've said many times, the universe kind of strikes me as just chaos upon chaos. And every once in a while you get lucky and you have some sentient life that pops up on a planet out in the middle of nowhere. But who knows? It's a very interesting idea to ponder. And we'll be looking forward to the next puzzle mechanic, which we've had previewed. Magnetic anti-gravity, something along those lines. Looking forward to seeing what that's all about and solving more puzzles. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.